Welcome back to the Freelancers Tea Break, the short and sweet podcast that you can enjoy whilst you're making a cuppa. I'm Emma Cossey, a coach for freelancers, and I'm here to chat to you about tips, tricks, and advice for freelancers. Hello, this week's episode is going to be very off the cuff, mainly because my lovely podcast editor messaged me and said, we haven't got one for this week, and I've realised this is a really good opportunity to talk about two apps that I've been dying to talk about anyway. One you'll probably have heard of, the other you might not have heard of, and these are two tools that I use with my team all the time. So these are tools where if I'm trying to explain how I do a process or one of my standard operating processes, or even just how I'm doing something or a problem I'm facing, I use these two tools. So the first one is the one that you probably will have known about, which is Loom. So that's Loom. Loom is like a screen recorder and screen capture tool, but it is really, really useful for quickly showing what's gone wrong with something, or more often than not, it's me going, I've broken something, help. So it's really good for that. But actually, I sent one a little while ago to Sansama with how I'm using their tool to track my morning routine. And they ended up sending that link out to their newsletter, and I got loads and loads of follows back because it's a bit more interactive and social. There's a comment section, people can interact, they can follow your stuff. So actually, if you're then doing some public shares and things like that, it can be really useful on that front. It also records your whole screen or just the tab or wherever you want. So if you're looking for something that you can showcase how you're doing something by video and you're talking over it, that's a really good tool. The second tool, which you may not have heard of, but I am obsessed with at the moment, is called Scribe, Scribe. Scribe is amazing. I've been using this a lot for my step-by-step things at the moment. So both of these, by the way, are Chrome or Microsoft Edge, or they're basically plugins for your browser, although Loom is desktop as well. But Scribe, all I do is when I'm about to start doing something, I click the button and it starts recording. Now, it doesn't record it as a video. What it does is it works out what you're doing at each step, it works out the clicks, and then once you've finished and you press stop, it then turns that into a guide. I've used this quite a bit recently for example, sharing how I add a new lesson into Podia. So the whole process and all the buttons I need to tick. This is really useful for me as someone with ADHD to see my processes and make sure I'm not forgetting something, but also really useful to share with my team so they know. So if things went like, since I started working with admin and more, there are certain things I'm handing over, and it's really useful to be able to have this guide that they can download as a PDF or just have the link and see exactly all the steps that I took. And it can also help streamline it. And a couple of the things that I really like about it is, one, when you click in, it says how many steps it is, very useful. But actually, the thing that I find really useful is it says how long that process took that person. Now, the reason I found this useful is the lovely lady Elizabeth, who owns Admin and More, she actually sent out one of these scribes telling us all how to sign up for Access to Work, which is an ADHD thing. I will talk about that at some point. But go on the government website and sign up for the Access to Work forms. So it's all digital now, not just on paper and things. Anyway, she sent me this, and the best bit about it was that I could see on there it took 5 minutes. Now, with any boring task like that, I immediately assume it takes like an hour or something and put it off. But opening that and seeing it only took 5 minutes was really motivating, and it got me to do it. And that's another perk of it really, is that you can see how long tasks actually take you by recording them. So even if you don't have a team, I think Scribe is really useful for tracking how long things take you, for having those procedures in one place, especially if you don't do them every single day. It might be something you come back to every week. It's really useful for that. So I just wanted to share those two tools because I'm finding them really, really useful. Whether you have ADHD or not, I think they are really useful to keep a track of all your processes. You can even do it for when you've got a new client coming in. You could track all the steps that you do for onboarding, things like that. You can also, as well, I should have mentioned, is with both tools you can edit. So Scribe, for example, you can go and look through all the steps, you can tweak some of the wording, and you can also remove steps. So quite often when I'm doing something, I'll click on the wrong thing and then come back, and I was thinking, it's going to take so long. But all I did was that one bit, I just hit the X button and it was gone. So I just thought I'd share them with you. I'd love to know what tools you are enjoying using at the moment. Do come join us in the Facebook group. That's a really good place to come and chat about that kind of thing. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Freelancers Tea Break. I hope you found it useful. If you want to connect with other freelancers, do come join us in the Facebook group, The Freelance Lifestylers. It's completely free, and really lovely and supportive. You can also find out more information on freelancing at freelancelifestyle.co.uk. And as always, I'd really appreciate it if you were able to take a moment to leave a review on the podcast platform of your choice.